Hey friend, welcome back to the Gentle Reset, your no judgment zone for creating a home that actually works for you. I'm Allison, ADHD home and systems coach, a mom of two, and I'm so glad you're here. If you've ever looked around your home and thought, why can't I keep up like everyone else, or what's wrong with me, then this episode is for you. And just so you know, you're not alone and nothing is wrong with you. Let's take one simple step together today. Here's your weekly 3, a mind hack, home hack, and a personal highlight to help your home feel lighter, more functional, and easier to maintain. Today we're talking about overcoming shame around a messy home, because this is such a common silent struggle for ADHD women. If you've ever felt like the mess means you're failing, you're definitely not alone. You will hear why shame isn't the motivator we think it is, and how it can make things feel even harder. I'll walk you through what ADHD-friendly organization actually looks like. Spoiler, it's not about being perfectly tidy or always on top of everything. That's just not realistic, especially if you're a mom juggling a million things. I'll also share a simple reset I do every night that helps me wake up to less chaos and more calm. And finally, I'll tell you a story when I used to spend hours reorganizing the same bins until I realized I needed a different system, one that felt easier to maintain. Let's jump in. Here's a mindset hack that changed everything for me, and I hope it does for you too. Drop the shame. Shame doesn't create change, but self-awareness and compassion do. If beating yourself up actually worked, your house would already be spotless, right? But that cycle of guilt and frustration just keeps you stuck and frozen, not knowing where to begin. We think we need more motivation or discipline, but what we really need is a different way of organizing, one that actually works with our brains. ADHD-friendly systems aren't about having a home that's never messy. They're about making your space easier to reset and maintain. Function matters more than perfection. It's okay if your home isn't always clean. It's okay if there are piles on the counter or shoes in the hallway. That doesn't mean you're lazy or bad at this. Mess is normal. Life is full. Your brain needs simpler systems, not more pressure and shame. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, try letting go of the idea that a clean home means you're doing a good job. What matters more is whether your home works for you and feels manageable. Instead, ask yourself, what would make this feel easier? Now let's talk about a super practical home hack system that helps me feel more in control without spending hours cleaning. My go-to reset is what I call the 15-minute kitchen reset. It's a short, doable routine I do most nights after dinner or once the kids are in bed, and it makes such a difference for how I feel the next morning. Here's what it looks like. I set a 15-minute timer to help me stay focused. I start by clearing out the sink, loading the dishwasher, and hand washing anything that's left. Then I wipe down the counters, table, and stovetop. Last, I take out the trash. Sometimes I'll do a quick vacuum or turn on my diffuser to wrap it up. If I'm short on time or energy, I'll break it into smaller chunks or ask my kids or husband to help. That's it. I don't deep clean, I just reset the space, and the next morning, I'm not immediately hit with the visual to-do list the second I walk in. It's not about having a Pinterest-perfect kitchen. It's about giving my brain a calmer start to the day. If you want to try this too, I've got a free kitchen reset checklist that walks you through it step by step. I'll link it for you in the show notes. Let me tell you a little story that might sound familiar. Back in 2019, when my two kids were both under 2, I felt like I was constantly reorganizing their toys, just trying to stay ahead of the mess. But every time I finished, they'd dump everything out again. I call it the dumping bin effect. And if you have little ones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was frustrated, exhausted, and honestly, I felt like a failure. Why was it so hard to keep it organized? Eventually, I realized it wasn't about trying harder. It was about doing things differently. And the first step, I started decluttering. I let go of toys my kids had outgrown, things that were broken, not played with, or just adding to the chaos. Then I made sure that everything we kept had a home. And I don't mean fancy bins or labeled drawers. I mean open baskets or shelves where toys could be tossed back quickly by category. And maybe the most important shift of all, I stopped expecting it to stay perfect. I accepted that some mess is just part of life with kids. I didn't have to panic when toys were out of place because resetting the space didn't take much effort anymore. It was simple, and that meant it actually happened. And the best part, the kids started helping too. And the system was so simple, they knew where things went. That shift from chasing perfection to creating function made everything feel lighter and more manageable. And I promise, if I can get there, you can too. Even now, my kids are 6 and almost 8, and I still notice the signs. When they start dumping out bins or leaving toy trails through multiple rooms, it's a cue that we need to do a little maintenance decluttering. Kids get overwhelmed by too much stuff just like we do, especially if your kids are neurodivergent like mine. They just show it differently. They might dump out bins to find the toy they actually want and then place somewhere else entirely. They might leave a trail of stuff behind. They might melt down because they're overstimulated or they can't find the toy they were looking for. Too many toys can be visually overwhelming. Less is more. And simpler systems make it easier for everyone, not just you, but your kids too. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Shame isn't the solution. It just keeps you stuck. Simple systems are what move you forward. ADHD-friendly homes are about function, not perfection. Mess is normal. The goal is to make resets quicker and easier. Try a 15-minute kitchen reset to bring more calm into your mornings. Start with decluttering. It makes organizing way easier and it actually sticks. And remember, good enough is more than enough. So if you want to try the nightly kitchen reset I mentioned, grab the free checklist. It walks you through simple, doable action steps that you can break into 5-minute chunks if needed. Print it out and post it inside a cabinet or on the fridge. The link is in the show notes. Well, that's it for today, friend. If this episode spoke to you, will you send it to a friend who needs it too? It's always comforting to know we're not the only ones struggling. And if you have a second, leaving a quick review helps me reach more ADHD women who need support with their homes. Remember, one small shift at a time creates momentum. You're doing better than you think, and I'm so proud of you. See you next week for another Weekly 3 on the Gentle Reset.